broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bob's Burgers After Show, Season 6, Episode 2, The Landship. If you guys have not done so already, please be sure to head over to iTunes. If you're listening on iTunes, subscribe there. Leave us a rating with a review, 5 stars. I mean, I'm maybe trolling for 5-star reviews, but if you like it, you should give us 5 stars. If you hate it, give us less than that. Tell us what we can do better. And be sure to leave us a review. Also, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also leave us a thumbs up and leave us comments and let us know what you think. We love to hear from you guys. I am Emma Fife. I am your host. You can follow me all over Twitter at Emma Fife, all over Twitter, the internet, all of the social media things. It's Emma Fife, which is my name. And I am joined by a fantastic panel of people this evening. Right here to my immediate left,
I'm Elena Jordan. Oh, look at that.
That was great.
I'll pretend like that was on purpose. You can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at That Elena Jordan Girl, because I'm inconsistent.
My name is Keith Black. I'm rather consistent. My name is Keith W. Black on Twitter, Instagram, social media, websites, doesn't matter.
Yeah. What about Pinterest? Do you
I do Pinterest,
Keith W.
but that's
Black
just for my wedding stuff. I like to pin up the dress. That would be pretty.
Yeah. Now, is your wedding board a secret board? So
I'm not gonna make that public. Come on. I'm a gentleman.
So yes, The Landship. First of all, when I saw this title, my brain wanted to make it The Last Ship, which I think is a TV show.
Yeah.
Can anybody confirm or deny that?
It is a TV show.
Awesome, great, wonderful. But basically, The Landship followed the story of the Landship. So it's basically established that in the Bob's Burgers universe, once upon a time, specifically back in 1812, I assume during the War of 1812, a townsperson, the people...
Unrelated.
That had nothing to do with the 1812. It was some other British invasion, that was not the War of 1812.
These are different Brits.
Yeah, they were from a different Britain. They were from Lesser Britain, not
Other
Great Britain. Yeah.
Little Britain.
And
then we're tying in another show. Showception.
Mind blown. So basically the townspeople confused the British by moving a ship onto the land, which caused the British to crash into the shore, and then they were able to sort of snuff them out. And we find out about all of this through an assembly. Now, as someone who grew up in New England, which is rich in American history, this felt very close to home for me. Did either of you guys ever have assemblies where they talked about important things that happened in your town? Like for us, it was like the birth of P.T. Barnum. Like P.T. Barnum grew up in Bethel, Connecticut, where I'm from, and we just had to have assemblies about all the great things P.T. Barnum did. Nope,
No,
just me.
I was from Alabama, and they were like, our history is horrible. Done. And then that was it.
We're going to go ahead and skip over our history, guys.
That was it.
I mean, I'm from Orange County, so you can know there's some depth when it comes to the history of Orange County.
Yeah. I love it. So yeah, the school is all assembled at this assembly, which they have every single year. And of course, it's established immediately that Tina loves it. Because Tina is a good American girl,
That's why I love Tina.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you said it reminded you of your growing up experience. Because
Totally.
I was watching it going, I want to go to this school so bad. I didn't think it was real.
It is.
Now I'm finding out.
It's so totally real. Yeah, I loved that specific detail about this episode because it did feel so close to home for me. But basically, we established that Tina really likes the story of the Landship, and all the rest of the students there, including her brother and sister, are like, snooze, the Landship. We don't want to talk about this anymore. And they get into a conversation about the nature of Tina's character, wherein I believe it was Tammy refers to her as an unsalted pretzel.
I do have to say, immediately before that was one of my favorite lines of the episode.
Yes!
They were talking about the night that it happened,
Yes!
and they described it as humid and filled with great tension.
Yes!
As Jean said, just like my fart. And I just couldn't let a fart joke go
Also
by.
at the beginning of
He's
the
a
episode.
wordsmith.
Yeah. Also, at the beginning of the episode, when they were establishing everything that goes on in regards to the celebration of the anniversary of the Landship, they established that there is a parade, which is another thing that I grew up with every single year. Was we had a freaking parade for Memorial Day. It was huge. Huge.
We all have the parade. We've all had to watch the Thanksgiving Rose Parade. Doesn't matter what part of the country you're
Yeah,
in.
no, but like literally, we had like our personal small town parade. We had lots of them.
That
yeah.
sounds amazing.
There was a Memorial Day parade, homecoming parade. They were a big deal. We made floats. We got to
dress
ride
up?
around. Oh yeah, and you got to ride around on the back of classic cars. It was like huge.
There's nothing wrong
But
with that
I wanna
whatsoever.
steal
That's
your
amazing.
childhood.
It was a
sounds great.
pretty great childhood. But anyway, so they're talking about the parade, and Jean says that I've been practicing my parade wave, which I thought was also fantastic, which Keith actually brought up a point that he wanted to discuss, which was what does go into making the perfect parade wave.
The perfect parade wave.
Yeah.
I mean, every year you've got the Miss America, you got all these gals going
Yeah.
out there competing.
Isn't it like the elbow, wrist?
Oh yeah,
opinion.
that is a parade wave.
That's
I was
a
gonna
good
say
one.
because I tend to go more for the royal wave, which is like just a little teeny thing with the hand.
That's good. Slow wrist movement.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's good.
I'd put
Double.
my
the
hand
air.
higher, but then it would be out of frame.
I like to go double. You know, let them
Oh,
know I've
okay.
been here before.
All right.
This isn't my first parade wave.
This isn't your
If I
first
was
Landship
actually
parade.
there, mine would just be this. I'd be like,
Just super
I'm in
excited.
the parade. Do you see me? I'm in it. I'm here.
I would go in full drab though. I feel like I would have to wear.
Yeah.
If it's a parade, like Patience was her name.
Yes,
I think I would
Patience.
dress like Patience.
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
look good in a
Patience
one.
played
Go
by
big or go home.
yeah, totally.
I also love that the celebratory burger was the Yamship burger because it came with yams.
Yep.
That was
Which, as you know, are
specialty.
very important to the history of this country. They were served at the first Thanksgiving.
I mean, I just know that it's a casserole covered with marshmallow, therefore it's the only casserole I can get on board with. And by that I mean just the top part.
Just gonna scoop it up like a cupcake.
Which is way more interesting and delicious than a unsalted pretzel, which is what Tina
Yes.
was described as, which then leads us on Tina's journey through this episode, which is basically her quest to get a little more spicy.
Yeah. But not too spicy. Not too spicy.
No, so basically, we also establish at this assembly, because we see it on the back of one of the chairs in the auditorium, the ghost boy that has been appearing all over the school, which is... we come to find out is done by this kid Jordan, who has no friends.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, because and when Tina first discovers that he is Ghost Boy and she's talking to him about Ghost Boy, I love that bit where she's like, "Oh, so you are Ghost Boy?" He's like, "Nah, it's just a thing I made up." She's like, "Oh, okay," because I thought it was like because you felt invisible because you have no friends. Okay.
And
Nope.
also it's shaped like a J.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh my
I'm
god,
shaped like
I'm
a-
shaped like a J. No, you're not. Your name starts with a J. So good.
That's a kid who's totally afraid of scoliosis.
Oh,
He's like,
100%. Oh, totally. Yeah.
I love Jordan though.
Jordan Kagan.
I think he's amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
I'm gonna have there will be Ghost Boy T-shirts by the end of this season.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
certain.
Oh, and I will absolutely purchase one
There'll be some
because
tattoos out there.
Ghost Boy tattoos.
Yeah,
That would be Jordan Kagan's like ultimate victory.
it's permanent.
Yeah, well, he's sort of a Banksy figure. You know what I mean? Like he goes around and he's just vandalizing the town with Ghost Boy all over the place. And what I liked about the storyline with him and Tina is that it was such a good way for Tina to sort of explore that spicier side of herself, because she was doing it in this very controlled environment where it's just like this one thing that she latches onto, and she's just running around town with Jordan, staying up all night, and she just turns into a regular little hoodlum. I love it.
Can we talk about how easy it is for these children to sneak out in the middle of the night?
I know, yeah.
They have a bell on the door that go bing ding, and still somehow they're constantly sneaking out. And the parents, when they're
Well,
sneaking out, they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, should we let the kids know?"
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that everyone's sneaking out. They all have their own subplots, and they're focused on that.
Yeah, totally. So Tina and Jordan are running around doing graffiti all over the town, and Jordan decides that he is in love with Tina because she's the only person who talks to him. She's the only girl he's ever spent an extended amount of time with.
It's love by default.
Yeah, I just freaking loved that kissing subplot that was happening.
So good.
It was so hilarious.
Because he made the noise that a baby makes when it kisses you, and it just opens its mouth and puts its whole face on you. Just
Oh my god, it was so funny. I'm trying to find the exact quote. Oh yeah,
you don't have to cover my nose and mouth with your mouth.
Yeah, and when he first kisses her and admits, he's like, "Oh, that was my first kiss." She's like, "Yeah, I couldn't tell at all. That had lots of things that real kissing has in it."
I mean, we've all been there. Every one of us has that one person in your mind where you thought, this is going to be good. I'm excited about this. And they go in and you're like, whoa. Like, where did that come from?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know where you would learn that. Like, you're definitely not reading it on the internet.
Yeah, I hope not. Anyway, I hope the internet's not teaching people to kiss like that.
Cover her nose and her mouth when you're going the first time. This is crucial.
Jordan, he's busy. He's busy perfecting his art.
He's tagging all over
the
town.
one thing he can draw.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, just the
true.
one.
He only draws one thing. It's always Ghost Boy. He
It's
never
true.
branches out. I got this. It's good.
Yep.
This
He's mastered the art of Ghost Boy, and he is just sticking to it.
Ghost Boy and kissing. It's all
and I liked this as a storyline for Tina because Tina is such a sexual character. It was really fun to see her in a very awkward sexual situation that was not of her own creation.
Yeah.
Because we all know Tina's capable of creating awkward situations for herself, and this was not her doing.
I mean, and speaking of the fact that this is the first time Tina being in an aggressive situation hasn't mentioned butts.
Yeah, it's so true.
No butt references
That's
to his
how-
butt, Jimmy Jr.'s butt. No one's butt was getting mentioned, and I thought Tina was a little lovesick with the spray painting.
Well, that's how you knew that this was not going to work out, is because Tina did not mention butts once.
If the butt's not there, Tina's not
Ghosts don't have butts.
That's true.
No, that's
It
true.
was never gonna work out.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the one ghost that's an exception.
Casker's got to be down for that.
Oh,
12-year-old me and
Casper.
Devin Saw. I won't. That's a whole other.
Yep. Yep. So Tina's really, really enjoying this adventure these nighttime adventures that she's having, and then Jordan reveals to her that he wants to do the ultimate tag, and he's going to tag the sail of the land ship the night before the parade, so that when they unfurl it during the parade, there will be Ghost Boy.
Which is perfect. And it's sort of canvas.
It's epic.
It's true. I know he did
It's
point out.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, it's the perfect canvas. It's canvas."
Literally canvas. I mean, that would be a crime that I would full-blown argue. I'd be like, look, I'm an artist. That's a canvas. Where did I go wrong here?
The crime was on you for not previously painting this canvas.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just left an
You
unused
wrote
canvas
It was
out.
an invitation, basically. Yeah, and Tina, of course, has her reservations about this because even though Tina does want to spice things up and get a little more interesting, at heart, that's not her.
She's a good kid.
She is. She's totally a
doesn't
good
want to
kid.
get in trouble.
No, she returns her library books 3 days early.
Oh, yeah.
She goes in to renew them just to make sure that she doesn't pass over the due date.
And the librarian wouldn't even do that. That's the funniest part, is she's getting insulted by a librarian for being too cautious and too
I
prudent.
know.
It's like, this is what you were the staple of what that means.
Yeah.
Being too prudent.
He's like,
And
"You're so weak. Why are you doing this? This isn't even due for 3 days. Renewed."
Just gonna stack these books until I can't see you.
Yes, it was so funny.
So good.
Tina's like, "I'm just being responsible."
There's so many people I wish when you're having a conversation at the office where I'm just gonna slide my computer.
Yes.
Just like this.
Yep, so I cannot see you anymore.
going.
Well, which is, part of the reason that I like Tina so much as a character is that she is this beautiful little weirdo, and she's not the butt of the joke.
No.
More often than not.
But
No pun intended.
in honor of Tina, I couldn't let it go.
That needs to be a buzzword.
In honor of Jean, I'll mention the fart jokes. In honor of Tina,
We'll point out every time the word butt is said on this show.
This week, 32.
Yep. So keep your butt counter going. Let us know how many times we said butt during the after show tonight.
We need a bell.
Yes.
A bell,
butt
and,
bell.
And a little bucket where we put $1 in it.
That'd be
Each time.
amazing. That'd be amazing. That's the thing is that is Tina's so often the hero and the one that has a lesson to learn on her own and also share with the rest of her family members, which I think was definitely the case in this episode.
Oh, absolutely. Tina was the driving force for all the mischief. I feel like she took a little bit of Louise with her going around, getting into the mischief, doing it. And she's going like, okay, what's going on? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a sail, a bandana. You're going out late at night. You're always tired.
Also,
and there's a boy.
Tina wore pants in this
which is
episode.
crazy.
You guys notice that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when they went to tag the sail.
Everything's getting nuts.
I know.
She had Chucks on though. That was nice.
Yeah.
I like that if she's gonna wear pants, she keeps it fashionable.
She does.
Low key.
I love, though, when she's all upset and she's crying
In the
and
body.
Oh, I know.
instead of gloating that now Louise finally knows what it is and they immediately say, well, let's help, let's make it
Yeah.
better. And that's, I think, part of why people love this show so much is because this tight-knit family that have each other's back no matter what.
That's the thing, is the family is nice to each other.
Yeah.
That's absolutely one of the things that I love the most about this show, is it's a family that really does love and care about each other. And even though the kids are so bizarre and have just the most delightful personality quirks, and their parents are in some ways exactly like them and in other ways nothing like them, they don't try to mold their kids into them. And it's just about them trying to relate to their kids as they are.
But it always ends up having some sort of parallel with this episode when
Oh,
Bob
totally.
and Linda have to sneak out too.
Right, which was very much the B storyline of this episode, which involved basically the festival, the parade for the Landship is about to happen, and they're going to bring in all of these porta potties so that people have somewhere to pee during the event, and they put them in front of Bob's restaurant. Which he is not too happy about.
Much to his chagrin.
Much to his chagrin. I did like when the workers initially came in and dropped off the porta potties, and they're like, "Hey, is that restaurant across the street good?" And he's like, "No, it's
of course not
terrible.
good."
It's terrible." They're like, "All right, guys, lunch is in 10. We're gonna eat at that pizza place across the street." Bob's like, "I just told you it was awful. You should eat here." They're like, "No, man, we're not eating at a restaurant with porta potties in front of it. That's gross."
That's filth. Come on, animals.
Yeah. So Bob and Linda and Teddy all make a plan because they can't convince the actual company to move the porta potties, that in the middle of the night they are going to sneak out and they themselves are going to move the porta potties.
Which is what I love about it is the situation that Bob gets onto the phone to try to remedy the situation prior to their
Right, totally.
And he's calling it ma'am. You calling me ma'am? No, man. I'm sorry, man. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody that wasn't on the phone, or when he called, I think he called Jimmy was an idiot, or he called him dumb, or
Jimmy Pesto.
And he's in a situation where I've been on the phone and I've been talking to somebody on the phone, and then I segue over and I'm talking to somebody in the house, and I'm like, "You knocked that off," like a cat, and then they're like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "Oh no, not you. You keep doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
Don't put me on. Don't
Transfer
me.
Oh, hold. Oh,
But I
it's
love
Aerosmith.
too that this show has, because the little Easter eggs are always my favorite. I love that because it had two distinct storylines, it had two distinct burgers.
It
instead of
did.
just
Yeah.
one. They, for Bob, when they went over to his storyline, had the "You Can't Fight City Holla" burger because it comes on a challah
Challah
roll.
bread, yeah.
That was the bread.
That was the
That's
bread.
the bread.
Yeah, previous to recording this, Elena was like, "I had to look up how to say this bread."
I wanted to make sure I said it right.
You said it right.
And
Challah.
they've been waiting in suspense to find out what the bread reference would
And
be.
now we know.
It was worth it.
I also-
I'm glad I waited.
I also loved
You roll with it?
I also
You'd
loved
be a great baker.
in this episode, in this storyline, how they were going to dress all in black to go move the porta
Plaster
potties.
pumps.
And Linda, the only black clothing she owns is like a black cocktail dress.
I want to do a smoky eye.
And he's like, "No, Linda, you don't need makeup."
So good.
She wants to look good. If she's gonna go to jail and get a mugshot, I'm totally for Linda. Where I'm like, I'm gonna look good in my mugshot.
No, but my favorite part about this whole scenario, however, was that Teddy was assisting them with this, did not dress in black, and was there with his bright yellow truck.
And just yelling at each
Yeah.
other loudly.
But he left on a
When to
good
back
note.
up.
He did, yeah.
Compliments
Yep.
Linda's dress.
Yep.
I like your dress.
And gone.
Yep, love it.
That is a friend.
But so eventually, all the storylines converge with the actual Landship parade, which I just have to call something out because it was amazing when Jean and Tina and Louise are all painting over the sail. Because again, it goes back to Jean and Louise see that Tina is upset and they come to her aid, and so they all go and they paint over the ghost. And Jean's kind of keeping watch to see how the progression's going with the reenactors. And he's like, "Okay, all right, they're just kind of they're sitting around eating snacks. Oh no, they're fifing towards us." Which, being someone whose last name is Fife, spelled differently, that's F-I-F-E, mine's F-Y-F-F-E, I very much appreciated that.
I laughed out loud thinking about you, not even realizing how much of the rest of this episode was just like, this one's for Emma.
This episode was partially based on my own life, I feel, in many ways.
I need a gene-based episode to be like more like my life.
Totally.
I can relate.
Yep.
I'll take Louise any day of the week.
I love it.
Any day
I
of
love
the
it.
week.
Yes.
It's not even a question. I'll wear bunny ears that day. It's not a big deal.
I'm going to hold you to that, by the way.
I'll rock the bunny ears. And I loved that when they walked outside and they were all in their pajamas, she has bunny ear slippers that go with the bunny ears on her head. And I'm like, you're pulling it together. That's an outfit, girl.
Oh,
It
yeah.
runs in the family. It's not just Linda.
No. Nope. I love it.
They've all got style.
So everybody goes to the parade. We find out, of course, that they have successfully painted over the sail. My favorite moment of the whole episode, possibly besides the fifing thing, was the end of the Tina and Jordan storyline when she's standing with him. He's like, "You were my first love and my last love." And Tina's like, "Jordan, I'm sure someday you're going to meet a great girl who doesn't care about good kissing or the law or anything."
And then just immediately
there's another girl, and she's like,
I didn't think that was gonna happen that fast.
Yes. It was so good.
Anytime
My
Sunday,
favorite
right?
part of the episode is always what is going to be in the abandoned building next to them at the beginning. And this one was resisting arrest, sleep therapy. And I was like, oh, you pun master.
I know. I also love when the
friends.
porta potties showed up. They recommended. He's like, you could put it in front of the building next door. There's nobody in there right now. It's for rent. They're like, yeah, you could move your restaurant. I was like, no, I can't just move my restaurant. Which the porta potties, moral of the story, ended up being a good thing because everybody was going there to use them and seeing the restaurant and immediately going in and buying them.
Well, they started selling down the line.
Yeah.
They made it like a order down the line
Yep.
thing, which is smart, but also, what if it's your turn and you're still eating a burger?
You just bring it in.
Gross.
You all know there's the difference between like the bad porta potties and the good porta potties. And when Tina was in there having her tantrum, letting them know that she spoiled Bonnie and Clyde,
Yes,
which she
that
should have
was
absolutely
amazing.
given a spoiler about. I hadn't seen it, and I'm like, well, dang.
Oh,
Thank you, Tina.
I've seen it.
I feel the pain, but she was washing her hands in there, so you can tell that's a nice porta potty. They could have had the old dingy ones that are placed out front. Like, no, nobody likes that.
Yep. Any final thoughts before we put a stopper to this episode? I don't know what that was. We're just gonna end this episode.
A little no vacancy
Oh,
sign.
yeah, we're gonna just put a little no vacancy sign up. Final.
I'm excited to see who gets the next focus episode.
Yeah.
That's great. I like
This
that.
was a Tina episode.
I mean, I would be Louise. You give me some Louise or Linda. You give me Louise or Linda.
I do love
happy.
Linda episodes. And just as one final thought, this season of Bob's Burgers is currently at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, or it was as of
which
yesterday.
is probably why they've officially announced season 7 and 8.
Yeah. It's such a good show.
It's so good.
Love it. All right. So, people, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, Keith, you can find me at keithwblack.com or keithwblack on Twitter.
Oh, Elena. You can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at that Elena Jordan girl.
Oh, Emma. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Emma Fife. Also, be sure to check out all of the other shows we do here at AfterBuzz TV. We do after shows for pretty much every show on television, so if you like a TV show, you should check it out. You can follow everything AfterBuzz is doing at AfterBuzz TV. It's great. Also, be sure to tune back in next week right here for another episode of the Bob's Burgers After Show. And if you guys want to share any thoughts with us via Twitter, you can use the hashtag ABTVBobsB. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.